Good morning, guys, from Ogden, Utah. We're here at the ETL Overland factory and also their kind of sister company, Plan B Supply. And in case you did not know already, we're in the market for a new RV. And this is not going to be a normal, ordinary RV. This is going to be an overland expedition vehicle that has four-wheel drive, four-season capability, and everything that we need to kind of take us around the world and satisfy our needs for many years to come.
It's not really going to be tour-ish here. We're bringing you guys along. We're looking at something that we will potentially buy, and we'll share the features that we like and don't like with you and talk about the process. But just a reminder that don't expect a tour. Just expect to come along like a couple of friends would to look at a new RV with us.
And we get to customize this RV, so we have the room to be very particular and design it to meet our needs.
Yeah, our specifications.
Yep. So this is the rig that they take around to all the shows, and we're going to start by looking in here because the box is very similar to what we would have built. The moment of truth.
Finally.
I like the rhino lining on the outside.
Yeah. Is it possible to turn the lights on in here?
Sure. It's dark.
It's dark.
This kitchen actually has equivalent and more usable space than our current one.
It has a ton of counter space and then quite a bit of cabinet space too.
Yep, definitely a lot more cabinet space than our bigger motorhome right now. We would be going with a larger size refrigerator and probably an electric cooktop since we would be looking at a single fuel source.
One of the things that really attracted us to ETL is that they have a great use of space in the back here. So you have your dinette, and this comes down to make another bed.
That is a big bed if you wanted it to be.
It would be huge, and also like comfortable place to kind of sprawl out there. And then the bed actually drops out from the ceiling.
Now I think our design has a TV somewhere right in this area, if I remember correctly. But this is a great double use of space. And we're more than happy to make the compromise of having our bed drop out of the ceiling for more living space. Definitely our custom one would have maybe some storage options, some electrical accessory outlets.
Well, you know, something that I've thought a lot about, I've seen this in a lot of expedition vehicles, is they put storage on that back wall. And I've thought that that would be really nice. It's narrow, but you could almost put like nightstands there. That,
well, it could be something.
Slide open or something.
Definitely. But some finish work back here would just make this completely luxurious.
Mm-hmm.
So on the way we've designed our floor plan, we're going to have the option of putting a sofa or two chairs that are going to be super comfortable right here, because that is a priority to us since we work from home. There are also going to be plenty of days when you're just going to be stuck inside this thing when the weather's horrible, and you're going to want to have a place to be 100% comfortable.
One of the other things that we're doing is having them make a smaller, just kind of big enough, maybe like a person and a half kind of space of the dinette, and also to have some storage underneath it. Storage and bathroom space were kind of two priorities for me. And also having a place where you can get dressed without everybody in the world seeing you. So apparently you can have a curtain or a pocket door, and I think we'll opt for the pocket door just because it's a little bit more privacy. But the thing that I love about this is that you actually have a dry bathroom, and storage space in the bathroom. So you have a sink and toilet on one side.
And we're going to go composting on the toilet.
And on the other side, your shower space.
This is the first we've actually seen in the shower.
Yeah. It's pretty spacious, actually.
Yeah. He said he could even design a little seating area so you could like sit down in the shower if you so desired.
Or shave your legs or whatever. A little bit different from this one, we'll have about a foot more space up here, and we're gonna have closets on each side.
His and hers closets.
That's right. They won't be huge, but there will be space for each of us, and there'll be drawers on the bottom and then place to either fold or hang things up on the top.
Or both.
Or both.
So this crawl space is going to be a little different in our rig because we're going to have a Freightliner chassis, but this is more of a military chassis, and with space being what it is, that's all you get for the crawl space, which would be totally adequate. So we're just going to nip it in the bud, and this future rig is going to be completely equipped with solar, inverter, and pretty much every neat accessory right from the get-go. We're not going to like piece it all together over time. It's just going to be done once and done right. Time to move on to the outside and storage bays and all that hidden behind the scenes stuff.
I don't think there's storage in here. I think there are mechanical things in here.
There's storage.
A little bit. You could put your tools in this space.
Yeah. And just kind of the infrastructure. That looks like the winch for the spare tire. I see a water pump over there. That's like foam board insulation. That's nice.
The winterizing system.
Not sure what size tank that is, but we would definitely be getting something a lot bigger. If I remember, we had a option of a 100 or 200 gallon tank. What's in here? Some wiring. More wiring. You can see the framework here. That's a pretty solid I-beam there. So one of the limitations on these military chassis are the range and the size of fuel tanks. So we're gonna make sure we have at least, 100 gallons of fuel capacity. And as for accessories on the front, definitely gonna have a winch and a functional bumper, plenty of lighting, and we've even talked about putting like a storage box on top of the cab there. That way we could put like inflatable kayaks and, you know, outdoor type things in. So the chassis that we're looking at is a Freightliner, and it's going to be something maybe 07 or 08, so we don't have to deal with DEF fluid and ultra low sulfur diesel. So the framework and all this stuff that you kind of see here behind me is going to be totally different on ours. Another little storage compartment and access to wiring and infrastructure.
I think it's safe to say no one's getting in without a ladder.
It's always nice to have a high vantage point for security.
Well, I'm 5'3" and 3/4, and it's like twice the height of me to the windows.
So this is on the driver's side of the vehicle. Storage bay, and I see the gray and black tank drains here. I'm not seeing too much space for putting like the recovery equipment. You know what I mean? All those specialized things like a chainsaw, shovel, those tracks, unless there's a rack on the back.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we want our expedition vehicle to have a water filtration system so we can pull up to any river, lake, or pond and create fresh drinking water. And I'm guessing it would go somewhere here in the back compartment. This unit has the propane bottles right there. And like I said, inside we're gonna be shooting for a single fuel source. So all we have to worry about is diesel.
So some of the expedition vehicles we've looked at, they haven't had all of the plugins that you need if you're gonna hook up. They're made more only for being out boondocking. This one actually does. So you can hook up to water here, power source here.
Okay, well the battery was dead on this rig, so they had to jump start it. So the engine is still running, so forgive the background noise. Would we have the capability of putting like a motorcycle rack back here?
Yeah.
Because that would be like our mode of transportation.
Yep.
So this is what the bare bones structure looks like. I'm guessing that that's what ours will look like with the full door at the front.
That would be nice.
It will be.
So last summer we were looking at Super Cs, and they really just didn't do too much for us because you'd have to add the 4-wheel drive. But since we found this option here at ETL Overland, our next motorhome is pretty much going to be a Super C, just shorter than a lot of those Super Cs you see on the road right now.
So this one's an International. We're looking more at the Freightliner chassis. I do like that it has the extended cab, but overall this one is way too big for us.
Yeah, I paced it out at about 27 feet, give or take. And this chassis is also not 4-wheel drive. Just for the hell of it, we're gonna open the door. This one's very much under construction still. We can see the infrastructure of the flooring system well. Yeah, and all the insulation that's going up. This thing's gonna be huge.
One of my favorite things about this, with our single source heat, we will have in-floor radiant heating. And it will also be the source for our hot water and everything. But imagine how nice it'll be to wake up on a cold morning and put your feet down on the hardwood floor and it's warm.
And no forced air to dry things out, no condensation from propane.
Exactly.
And all that stuff.
It'll be really nice.
All right, this one is a beast, just like the one inside. Twin rear axles, and I really like this Rhino lining material, or Line-X, or whatever they're calling it nowadays. Very durable. And then this is the military chassis it's built on. But keep in mind, we're here to look at the inside. There's a wall of closets.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure you would find it awesome.
Come on, be sensible. Storage is necessary.
It is. But that's like more storage than we practically have in our house.
No, it's not.
I know, but it's a ton of storage. Gotta love the gun safe. And we would have a safe built into ours somewhere.
This is probably more like what we'll have with the walk-through door, which is really important to me because I know as the co-pilot, I will be the one going back and forth, and I did not want to be crawling through the crawl space.
And another one of our custom requests was to make this so it could be like sealed and locked. Because, what if your vehicle is down for months on end in the middle of Zimbabwe? You have the ability of disconnecting the RV portion, and maybe obviously like putting like a fuel tank on the outside, but then maybe setting it up on jacks and existing while your vehicle's getting serviced. This shower's really, really big on this model. Like, that is massive.
Huge.
You know, just like I saw in the other one, I think we would want a little bigger bathroom sink. And the kitchen space.
Lots
Here,
of, this is more like what we'll have with a
pretty standard RV fridge. Alright, well, you can still see the framework for the lift bed, which is good if you ever need to work on it. But we're both definitely leaning towards a little bit of finish work to kind of hide this infrastructure a bit.
After seeing these, I'm actually leaning towards this cab over feature where it could be a bed or storage space. I think it makes a lot more sense for it to be inside, where you can access whatever you've stored in there, or make space for someone to sleep up there. I'm really glad we came and looked at this in person, because there's a few things that I thought I wouldn't want that I do, and a few things that I thought I wanted that I don't. By actually seeing it in person, it's very helpful. So really nothing replaces coming and looking at it in person and laying your hands on it. This one's amazing though. It has some great ideas. Very thoughtful person that designed this.
Mike, thank you very much for your time.
Ben.
Corey,
Nice to meet you.
great meeting you.
Thanks.
Very much appreciated.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, this stop was well worth driving hundreds of miles out of our way on our trip back home to Alaska. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because this is all going to unfold over the next 6 months to a year, and we're looking forward to bringing you along. We'll see you later.